everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. I'm here to do a tag video for you today. I was tagged by Carla from Real Chicks TV, and many of you know Carla, but for those of you who don't, you're going to want to check out her channel and I'll have it linked below. I'll link her tag video when she did this tag, so that way if you don't know her, you can learn 11 things about her as well. Carla has worked in the media. She was a correspondent on news channels, I know on Fox News and I'm sure others. She also, because of that, she knows how to apply makeup because she had professionals applying hers. And she is very, very funny, very witty, and just a really lovely person. So if you don't know Carla, please go check her out and tell her I said hello. And Carla, I want to thank you for tagging me. This is a fun tag. I just wrote down 11 things you might not know about me. And some of these things you may know about me, but if you're a new subscriber, you might not know any of these things. And I like these kinds of tags because I can tell you a little bit about myself, and then in the comment section you can leave me a comment telling me a little bit about yourself or just commenting on things I've said, and it helps us all get to know each other better. Even subscribers that watch me can interact with each other, and it's just a great way to build our community. So I'm just going to jump in and share 11 things with you that you might not know. The first thing about me is my name is Dawn Irene, and my middle name is Irene because I was named after my grandmother, Mildred. Her middle name was Irene. And the name Dawn, it was, I don't know if it was ever a popular name, but it was most common in the late 60s. And that's when I was born, and my mom liked the name. I think my parents were, you know, they're from that generation. And so my name is Dawn, and I know my daughters who are 18 and 20, their friends and people in their peer group have not heard that name very much at all. So I kind of like that because they'll say, oh, that's such a pretty name. It's so unusual. And I'll think, oh, wow, thank you. It's just that I'm old and the name has fallen out of popularity. So that's my name. My favorite color is and always has been yellow. Not this kind of yellow like on my pencil, but a really cheerful, not a pastel yellow, but it's like just the right sunshiny yellow. Like, even this is a little too dark, but just like a lemon yellow. That's my favorite color, and it always has been. I worked at McDonald's for years and years and years when I was in high school, and I worked the drive-thru window, and I made the French fries. I would wrap the sandwiches, and I worked the front desk, and the food has not changed from then till now. They've gotten new things on their menu, but their fries are still the same. Their Filet-O-Fish sandwich, their burgers. I took a lot of pride working there. I like to point out the McDonald's I worked at whenever I go back home, and I really enjoyed that job a lot. I do have one funny story. I was not popular, obviously, but there was a really cute boy from my high school who came in there, and he didn't really even know I existed, and he ordered a sandwich and he took it and he went and sat down, and of course he was there with his friends, and that always gave me a sense of dread when I was working, when the cool kids would come in. And I had given him the wrong sandwich. Somebody else had a special order, so I had to go and tell him. I don't know why the manager made me do this, but I had to go tell him I had the wrong sandwich to see if he'd opened it yet. So I ran out there and asked him, and not only had he opened it, but he had put all his French fries on his sandwich and put the bun back on. And so he kept the sandwich. But now whenever I eat a burger from McDonald's, I lay all my French fries on it. Ever since that day, it's really good that way. So thank you, Mr. O'Shaughnessy. So that's just a funny story. Anyway, I always dreamed of being a nurse. I always wanted to be a nurse. When I was little, I dreamt of taking care of people. I used to read some books that a neighbor had, and they were the Cherry Ames series, and she was a nurse, and she was like a superhero nurse. I mean, she didn't have superhero powers, but the books were about this nurse who would always kind of save the day. Like Cherry Ames takes a flight, and she'd be on the plane, and there would be some sort of medical emergency, and she saved the day. And the whole series of books were things like that. And I wanted to be her, and it's ignited a fire in me, and I always wanted to be a nurse. But I was the very first person in my family to go to college, so I didn't really know how I'd make that a reality. I didn't know if, I was not considered a college-bound student. I had good grades, but I lived in a community where it was more working class, and my parents would have been happy if I worked at a job that gave me good insurance. That was like the goal that was set for me. So I know that God worked in my life because I met people in situations that helped propel me toward going to nursing school. And so I did go to nursing school and I got my bachelor's degree. And then I worked in the intensive care unit. They hired new graduates into the intensive care unit back in 1993, and they did a training program for us, which was like 5 months long, and we worked with a preceptor, and we were just groomed to be intensive care nurses, and I loved it. I loved that job so much. And then I worked until I was 31. I graduated nursing school at 22. I worked until I was 31 when I was pregnant with my second daughter. And by then I had gone into more of a specialty area, a cardiothoracic surgery unit, where my primary focus was recovering people after they had open heart surgeries. So it was like not just on their heart, but if they did anything to their lungs or their aorta or anything in this whole chest cavity, I would work with them immediately post-operatively. The same patient, I worked 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and I would see them through until they were discharged. So I loved that job so much. And then I had my second daughter, and my first daughter was a toddler, and I worked nights and my husband worked days, and it just was impossible for me to keep my job after I had them because we didn't have childcare. And so anyway, I've been a stay-at-home mom now and a homemaker for 17 years, and I went on to have 2 more children, and my youngest is 12. So one is in 8th grade and one is in 7th grade. So I'm still a stay-at-home mom. I love this job even more than the other job, but I was so happy, and I feel very privileged and proud that I was able to do that job and serve others. And it was just a dream of mine, and I'm so happy that I achieved it. So there's that. My faith is very important to me, and I was raised Lutheran, and as I got older, I went to a Lutheran college and I went to a Lutheran nursing school, and I just started, as I got older, feeling very convicted about things I had done in my life that were wrong, and I felt really I don't know, my self-esteem and my whole identity, I started to get really down because of things that I had done. And I remember my girlfriends telling me about Christ and that, you know, he died on the cross for my sins, and that if I believe that and accept him and get to know him, that I don't have to have shame for the things I've done. So I did accept Christ, and now I consider myself a Christian. I was raised Lutheran, and Lutherans are Christians, but I go to a Bible-believing church, and that's what I do now. And I just really believe that. I believe that because of God's grace and mercy, we're all forgiven, and my faith is really important to me. The next thing is I have 4 kids, and I think I've mentioned that already. My oldest is 20. My other girl, so that's a girl, my next girl is a senior. She'll be leaving for nursing school in the fall. She's going to college and she's going to study nursing too. And I have my 2 sons. So 2 girls, 2 boys. I feel like I hit the jackpot there. I love to sing, but I have a terrible voice, a really terrible voice. In fact, at Christmas time, when I'm walking around the house singing Christmas carols and stuff, sometimes my daughters will record it and then play portions of it back to me. And we laugh really hard. The last thing is I cannot swim. My 2 boys are swimmers, excellent swimmers. My daughters are swimmers. I gave my kids lessons in swimming. I didn't give them personally, but I got them lessons for swimming from the time they could walk, because I felt it was very important that they know how to swim. And my daughters swam on our neighborhood swim team, and then my sons did too. And then my sons loved it so much it became their sport. So now they swim on a club swim team, and my older son, who's going to go to high school next year, will swim on his high school swim team, and they love swimming. And so I feel like I've achieved something. I know to them it's not a big deal, but for someone who doesn't know how to swim, I feel like that's another big accomplishment. I really felt like I needed them to know how to swim well. Now, before all of you get on me telling me I need to learn how to swim, I know that I do, and I'm planning on signing up for some lessons and learning how to swim. I can tread water really, really well. So like if we go to the beach or go on a boat or something, if I jump off the boat, I can like doggy paddle, and get myself, I can get some locomotion going, and I can tread water and kind of kick my feet and propel myself, but I just cannot swim. And yeah, I know I need to learn how to do that. So anyway, let me know some things about you. I hope you enjoyed this tag. I am tagging anyone who would like to do this tag. So if you're watching this video and you think this would be a fun tag to do, please let me know, and I will watch you do your tag, and we'll all see that you're going to do it too. And you know, it's just a great way to get to know each other. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed and beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.